Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of AWS Mastery course. And in this particular session, we are going to learn about the AWS background and its evaluation, like the history of AWS, like how AWS actually started. So we are going to learn each and everything in this particular session. So as you can see on your screen, like first thing is what is AWS? So apart from each and everything, if we try to understand in a very layman term, so AWS is nothing but just a cloud services provider. Means we can just I can say use the compute power or compute services like EC2. We can have storage services, we can have delivery services, we can have networking services. So we can just use these services by just paying some cost, or we can say whatever the service we are using, we have to pay the cost accordingly as per the usage. So this is all about AWS. This is a general idea about AWS. So as you can see, like I have already told you, like it's a what we can say, it's a cloud service provider. Okay. And when we talk about AWS specifically, why people generally use AWS, so AWS actually helps businesses and the IT professionals to to build the solution in a very fast manner, and to make the solution which are very much flexible and scalable, and also having very good security. So this was all about the AWS. Like you are getting the idea like what exactly AWS is. So now the next thing is the beginning of AWS, like why Amazon started AWS. So generally, like in 2002, like AWS officially launched, and with very few web services. But initially, like when Amazon started, and after working for few years, initially they got the idea they need something. So they just built something for their internal infrastructure. So they were facing lots of issue with the e-commerce related thing, so they built AWS. Okay. So once they built the AWS in order to fulfill their internal e-commerce related needs, or we can say requirements, so everything was smooth. Then later on they got the idea, okay, so when we can solve our problem, like when we are facing the problems, so there are other people in the market, those who are also getting the problems or facing the problems. So they started building AWS in that manner, so that anyone else can actually use apart from the internal infrastructure of Amazon. Okay. So they actually officially launched, and they started few, like initially they launched with few services, or we can say very limited services. Then in 2004 they launched the simple queue services, and there is our AWS service which is simple queue service, SQS. So we are going to study this when we'll be studying about SNS and SQS, so we'll be understanding this. So what is queue services? So generally whenever we'll send an email to someone, or when we try to print something, so everything goes into a queue. Okay. So let's suppose if there is one print is going on. Okay. So the rest of the print commands are in the queue, just like the mail. Okay. So mails are, when you are sending a mail, they are getting sent one by one. Okay. So rest of the mail, like one mail is sending at a time, and apart from that, a rest of the mails are in the queue. And sometimes, like we whenever we don't have proper internet connections, or we can say sometimes, like when there is a problem with the I can say server of Gmail, so whatever the mail we try to send, they generally go into the what we can say in the queues. Okay. So this is the queue service. So they just started 2004. In 2004 they just started this queue services. Okay. Then we are having, like in 2006 they launched Amazon S3, which is simple storage service. And with this, like we can store something, and we can access whatever the things we have stored anywhere in the world. So they launched this thing. Okay. So this is how AWS started, and today's world we can say like every one of us are using AWS, and we are learning AWS like at this moment, because there is a need of AWS in the market. So now let's understand like how, like what exactly AWS is doing today. So as you can see, AWS is a market leader. Apart from AWS, like there are other cloud services provider, just like Google GCP, Microsoft Azure, IBM Cloud. We have Salesforce Cloud, we have Alibaba Cloud. So we are having lots of cloud services provider, but AWS is the market leader. So the reason behind this, a very best user experience, or we can say whenever user actually coming to AWS platform, they generally get like everything in a very, I can say, in a very quick manner. Okay, means like the platform is very much user friendly, as if we compare it to the GCP or Azure. Means anyone can actually use AWS if they are having little bit understanding about the AWS or its services. But when it's come to Azure or GCP, things are little bit difficult to learn, or I can say difficult to understand. You need to have a proper understanding about the platform and its services at a time. Okay, so now the next thing is revenue. So when we can say, like, when I'm saying like AWS is the market leader, it is having the largest market share and it's the biggest market player, so we can say like it is having one of the I can say it is generating very big revenues as well. So that's why, that's the reason as well, like it is a market leader. And customer base, like the same thing, like it's a, when it is a I can say biggest market player, so the number of customers are higher as compared to other cloud services provider. And next, continuous innovation. So with each and every I can say day, AWS is actually improving its platform. AWS is actually improving its, I can say, services. So like if you want to experience this, like how AWS is changing itself and how AWS actually focusing on innovation, so just go on YouTube and just try to search for any service. And if you're getting a video of just 2 years ago of, or I can say like you're getting a video of 3 years back, so in that video you will understand the how the platform is actually looks. And if you compare the same service or the same platform by today, you will see a huge difference. So you can understand like things are getting changed. So that's the actually flaw as well, or I can say a drawback. Like if you're learning AWS and you want to I can say consider few tutorials from YouTube or any publicly available tutorials, so you will see like the service you are using are like different, the platform is actually different, the UI is actually different. Okay, and these days if we talk about the present scenarios, the UI actually looks different. Okay, so everything is same. Okay, and the services are same, and the working of the work, like the working manner of the services are same. But the thing is like the way of platform is looking is different as compared to the previous things. So this is how you can understand like AWS is continuously improving and adding new services, adding new innovations to its platform. Okay, so now let's just see one stats, like here as you can see on your screen. It's a report from Business Today, and it's a report of first quarter, or we can say initial report of 2024. And from here you can see like AWS is having almost 46% of the market share. So this is just I can say rough figures, this is not the exact number, but these are just the rough figures. Like AWS is having 46% of the market share, and we are having Microsoft Azure, and Microsoft Azure is having 21% of the market share. And we are having Google Cloud, which is having 15% of the market share, and the rest of the cloud services providers are having 18% of the market share. So from here we can understand when a service, or I can say a cloud services provider, having almost like 50% of the market share, and also competing with the big players like Microsoft and I can say Google. So if we compare like Amazon with Microsoft, or I can say Google, so like AWS, Amazon is something in a very different league. Okay, and like if we talk about this Microsoft and Google, they are the biggest technical, or I can say technological giants in the market. Okay, they don't have any competition with anyone else, they are just they are just the biggest player. But AWS is, Amazon is actually what we can say fighting or competing with them in the field of cloud. Okay, so when a platform is having 40 or 46, or we can say 50% of the market share, so the need of AWS professionals in the market is high. And also the jobs openings are very high. Okay, so once you will be I can say done with the like this AWS mastery course, so I can actually assure you, so like whenever you'll go to in the market to go for the jobs, you will see like there are lots of opportunities for the cloud professionals, or I can say AWS professionals. So this is, I can say, this can be very much motivational for you, like you're learning something which is having the highest market share, or we can say the largest market player you're learning about. So these are the things which you can actually, I can say, understand and keep in your mind while learning AWS. It is one of the, I can say, motivational point. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood the history and the evolution of AWS cloud, and you have understood like how the AWS started. Okay, so that's it for this session. Let's meet in the next session. Till then, just take care of yourself. Thank you so much.